Many are of the opinion that the personal ambitions of various members of the PNP are taking priority over policy, morals, and ethics within the political organization. Recent developments in this political organization have left many persons convinced that this movement has not been able and may never be able to start the process of healing that it is so badly in need of. They need to start the process of healing so that they can become an alternative to the current government. Many persons were of the opinion that after the leadership transition phase had been completed, it would have been the priority of the PNP to ensure that they would have given Jamaica a viable option in terms of a second party to look to for future parliamentary elections selection for state power. But as it stands, there are many things coming out. First, there was the leaked recording of a phone communication between Vice President Damian Crawford and two comrades. The posts that were made on social media also went on to trigger further discussions on the underlying bitterness and divisiveness that has pasted itself across the last month's election lead up to the presidential elections, has also marked the PNP as a perfectly divided unit. And then there is the issue between Norman Horn, Peter Bunting, and Mark Golding, and this has further exposed the PNP as a unit that has more divided and fractiousness between themselves. They are fighting with themselves. They are not working together to build a united party. New People's National Party's president, Mark Golding, has a difficult task, and that task is to unite this divided party. His role in last year's 2019 Bunting Challenge for the presidency would have also done some great damage. And former President Dr. Peter Phillips merely won that election in 2019 by 76 votes. The fact is that Mr. Bunting's chief campaign director from the past in 2019, Dr. Dayton Campbell, was recently elected General Secretary of the party 2 weeks ago. And his mission is to make the effort of uniting the PNP possible, but many persons may find it even more difficult. So, if Mr. Bunting challenged Peter Phillips in 2019, and by his side he had Mark Golding and Dr. Dayton Campbell, and guess what? Mark Golding is now the president, Dr. Dayton Campbell is now the general secretary, Bunting is now a senator, and of course he's also responsible for national security. He is also the leader of opposition business. So what does that mean for all the others who may have been in support of Lisa Hanna or Phillips in 2019 and 2020? Of course, these three at the helm will ensure that unity within the PNP will even be more difficult, with many persons already stating that comrades who supported Dr. Phillips are pouring cold water on the declarations of a commitment to unity that was made by Mark Golding and Dr. Dayton Campbell. Of course, both of these gentlemen should not be surprised by the stance that is being taken by supporters of Dr. Peter Phillips, because both played a leading role in making some caustic statements and declarations, which went on to portray Dr. Peter Phillips as incapable of winning a national election, and therefore undermining his leadership of the People's National Party. And it seems it was a similar stance that was being taken by Norman Horn. He went all out to issue some caustic statements against Mark Golding, and also heavily criticized Mark Golding's leadership style. that was tantamount to retaliation and revenge. We view this as an irony, as Dr. Dayton Campbell and Peter Bunting's defeat in the September 3rd general elections would have been compared to the fact that Dr. Peter Phillips won his seat. And these two gentlemen were not even able to do that, but they were the ones in 2019 who heavily criticized Dr. Peter Phillips and said that he was unpopular and that he was not capable of winning an election. Well, of course, whilst he did not win the elections, he managed to win his seat. They did not. Additionally, there seems to be little respect being given to Mark Golding's presidential office, and he has had to issue a warning to those who may want to challenge him for his post and those who are consistently showing him total disrespect and disregard. He made his statement at the PNP's National Executive Council meeting, and he said that that was the proper place for anyone who wanted to challenge his authority as president. It should be that they challenge him at the party's annual conference. Given the issues and the bitterness and the divisiveness that continue to plague the party, there should be no surprise if Mr. Golding is made to face a challenge in the near future. And whilst that may be based on the party's constitution, it would be the right of any member. It certainly would not even help the PNP to settle down at this time. If they attempt to destabilize the party by challenging Mark Golding for the leadership of the party, then it will only lead to further instability. Problems that are currently plaguing the People's National Party is all about personal ambition and those who are seeking to become even more powerful than they already are. Of course, nobody is focused on the ideology, nor do they have the desire to serve Jamaican people, nor the country as a whole. Of course, the persons who started the PNP, that was their mission. Their mission was to serve. Their mission was to take Jamaica to a place where it would be a regional and an international force to be reckoned with. But as it stands, it's all about power. It's all about playing the right games. It's all about revenge, retaliation. And of course, some persons even feel that they're entitled to certain posts. What we are currently looking at is a set of people who regard the movement as an opportunity for self-promotion, and some even state that the members of the party are their own comrades, and they are shameless in how they publicly declare how they feel about each other and certain issues within the internal parts of the party. Of course, as it stands, they could have never won the September 3rd general elections. And even if we have to wait until 2022 for the local government elections, they will still not be able to win it as well. And even in the next 5 years, they will not be ready. And some persons are putting it as far as 3 decades because they believe that this unit is so fractured that there is nothing, not even divine intervention, can heal this unit. Because as it stands, the party has a lot of work to do. But if they are not willing to start, how will this work happen? And if they are not willing to cooperate and start respecting each other and respecting the party that they're a part of, they will never grow. And guess what? If you've had decades of hurt and pain, it will take at least 3 decades to build on that. 3 decades to bring back people together. 3 decades to build unity. And of course, it will take a while. It seems to have taken the Jamaica Labour Party 18 years. That was almost 2 decades. And they were not as divided as this one. So let's give them 3 decades. All of 30 years, when some of the youths in this party will be great-grandfathers. And that's when maybe some of them will get a chance to shine as leader. And maybe they may become the next Prime Minister of Jamaica. So 30 years is where it stands. Do you agree that in the next 30 years they will be okay and ready to lead Jamaica? Thanks for watching.